Hi guys, welcome back to the workshop. Today I'm just looking at a problem for Mike out at area 43. He's got a Kubota zero-turn lawnmower, and whilst trying to change his blades the other day, they were worn out. This is the spindle off one of the mower blades. It's got 3 blades on it and 3 spindles. Up this end is where the pulley goes, and this end is where the blade clamps on. You can see here we've sheared off one of these bolts. It was in there super duper tight, and no other way to get it off than a lot of force. I suppose we could have heated it up, but didn't know that at the time. There's the end of the bolt. It's got a hex in there as well. I think the hex might be to help get that off if the outside of the bolt is all burred over from hitting the ground and rocks and stuff. But looking at this, it's well and truly sheared off. I'm going to try and get it out. He's already got a replacement part, but I thought it might be handy if he's got one of these in stock in case it happens again. But it'll be a good exercise for me to get that bolt out of there. I don't think there's any point in me drilling a hole in it and trying to get it out with an easy out. It's in there, if it's in there so damn tight that I can shear that bolt off, there's no way an easy out's going to get enough grip on it. What I'm going to do is drill a hole. I'll chuck it up in the lathe. I'll drill a hole in the end and gradually increase the size of the hole until the thread falls apart. Should be able to pick it out then. The thing to determine next is what size thread it is, because then I'll know the maximum size I can go with my hole. If I look at that here, or what's left of the stub, if I measure that, it's about 0.2 millimeters, under 12. Might be a bit hard for you to read the scale, but being a Kubota, I'd say it's going to be metric, so it's we'll assume it's a 12mm bolt. It's a bit hard to tell from those what look like 2 threads. Get you on the edge there, you can, there we go, you can see like 1 or 2 threads. It's going to be pretty hard to pick out the pitch. Looking at my book here, just like we did in the other video, which I'll put a link to, you can see there's various sizes. Well, there's two there for 12mm, and it's 1.25mm pitch and 1.75mm pitch. Gives us 2 different tapping drills, 10.2 and a 10.8. I don't actually have decimal tapping drills, so I'll probably bore it out with a little tiny boring bar out to 10.2 millimeters, and we'll see what's left of the thread and whether it starts to crumble or not. And if it doesn't, I'll go a bit bigger until it does. That'll mean it's going to be a fine pitch thread instead of a coarser one. But anyway, we can investigate that along the way, and there's nothing much to lose. It's already broken. He's already got a replacement, so this will be an exercise in removing a stuck bolt, and good practice. I've just got my thread gauge out, and if we look at, I've just cleaned that up with a wire brush to get any grit and stuff off. If I get my gauge on there, it's a bit hard to tell, but that's looking closer than 1.25 did. That's 1.75 millimeters pitch. But we'll start off with a smaller hole and work our way up, see what happens. I'll just take you over to the lathe. I just remembered my cheapo set of taps goes up to 12mm, and it also includes a set of tapping drills to go with it. If I look at this drill, the biggest one, because it's the largest size in the set, don't know whether you'll be able to see it. Probably not. Maybe. It says there 10.3. So this set reckons that the tapping size for 12mm is 10.3 and not 10.2 as my little book says. I think 0.1 of a millimetre is not going to make a lot of difference. So we'll work our way up to that drill and make sure we get it in the centre. Let's go over to the lathe. Okay, let's just get our piece chucked up in the lathe there. Luckily, that spindle goes in there. Otherwise we'd have a whole lot more dicking around to do. You can see just down in here, there's not much room to spare. Put a bit of oil in the spindle bearings. These are just plain bearings, there's no balls in there. They're called Babbitt bearings for some reason. But these little cups, if you have them full of oil, everybody's happy. If you look down through there, I can see it's running out a little bit. I'll put a dial indicator on it and we'll see how much, whether we need to worry about that. I'll make a decision once I see how much it is. Okay, somewhere around there is the 0, but we don't know where 0 is yet. I'll just spin that by hand. Right, undo that. Looks like it's going to be out a fair bit. There's the lowest point there. About 14 thou. We'll see if we can do better than that. Maybe there's some dirt or something else on the shaft. Yeah, that's a bit scungy. There's crap in there. I'll just go and clean that up a little bit. I just gave it a bit of a flick with a knife and I can see it's actually taken some damage there. Not a lot, probably from waggling around on the shaft or something going on. Let's face it, the mower's pretty savage sometimes. So I'll just grip it out here and leave that part outside the jaws and see if that makes a difference. And make sure there's no big dangly bits on the jaws. That looks better already. I don't know where 0 is, but we'll start somewhere. That's the lowest spot. Ten. Just give it a bit of a turn. Still 10. There's no telling how good this was made originally. There's 10 thou again. The other choice is to put it in a forge or might be an interesting exercise anyway. Not sure whether it's critical or not. When I want to take this chuck off, the easiest way to do it is to engage the back gear, which basically locks up the chuck, locks up the spindle, and give it a tap. This chuck just screws on. The challenge is not to drop it on your knuckles or on the bed of the lathe. Make sure the spindle nose hasn't got any crap on it, or the back of the chuck. This is my 4-jaw chuck. It's a bit heavier than the 3-jaw. The disadvantage of a screw-on chuck is you can't turn backwards with the chuck spinning in the other direction. Don't forget to unlock the back jaws, the back gear. Now of course this is going to be a lot harder to true up. And it's got a different size chuck key. We'll just have a guess at first. That one's too high, so we'll loosen that one. I can just see by looking at it. Tighten that one. Yeah, that one's still too high. That one. Too high. When the needle's going clockwise, it's getting higher. That's the highest spot. So we'll loosen the other jaw. It's already a bit loose. Tighten that one. That one's still high. Couple of thou. That's the high there, so we'll just tighten that one up. There's the high there. We're just about there now, so I'll tighten it up. About 4 thou. I think we can call that close enough for this purpose. That ain't going to come out. One last check. Here's our 0. Almost 0. 4 thou. 3.5. That'll do. We spin that now, should look good. And it does. Next we're just going to face off this sheared off part here. I want a nice flat surface to start a drill on. That way the drill's not going to wander off center at all. That tool should already be on center height. Now I just got to get you in a position where you can see the action. That ought to work. You might go a speed faster than that. go. It's got that surface cleaned up. Finished with the carriage for a bit. We're going to need the tailstock, which means I need to move the tripod again. Let's get a center drill. Took the tool post right off so it wasn't in the way. This lathe was built in about 1940, I think, 1938. So it's nothing fancy about it, but it cuts metal. I toyed with the idea of getting it all painted and looking nice, and a fella on the net said to me, paint doesn't cut metal. And I must admit I have to agree with him. More interested in getting it to work as well as it can. Something so it's not dry. Good. It's got it started. Now a drill won't wander off. This is a 8mm drill. Looks like I was drilling wood with the last time I used this. Looks a bit crappy. Might just give it a quick touch up. Okay. When you sharpen a drill, you want to get both flutes the same length, both flutes the same angle, and a nice clearance down the back there. Not too much. That one might have a bit of a high spot in it. Give it a go. Soon know if it's not right, it's going to rub somewhere up there. So we'll see how it goes. Looks like it's cutting all right. I'm hoping I'll be able to feel it break through the bottom of the bolt. That way I just don't continue drilling on through the shaft. I've got no idea how long that bolt is. Felt a little something then. I think I must be through. You can see down the hole, can't see anything fancy. Yep, that's better. Yeah, it's a definite hole. So it wasn't, the bolt wasn't jammed against the bottom of the hole. For some reason it had seized on the thread. I reckon now I'll put my 10.3 mil drill in there, and we'll clean that out, and we'll see what breaks out. It's a very old chuck. Might slow it down a cog. A little bit wobbly. Let's just see what I can see there. Can't quite see the thread yet. That's running nice and true through there. Yeah, there's a lot of clearance down that hole in the bottom. One's a 10. About half an inch past the end of the bolt. I know because the tail sprocket is 100th thou per turn on the handle. I went about 5 turns. I still can't see any of the threads in there. So we'll go out to our 10.3 now, which will just clean it out a little bit. So this should just cut down to where the threads are and leave a spiral of the outside diameter of the old bolt. And hopefully I can just pick out what's left. way through. Oh yeah, I can see part of that coming out of there now. Might get it over on the bench and have a go at it with a pair of pliers. Or maybe if I bring you guys around here, put my light back on. Oh, that's better. Now, if I can get it out in one continuous length, I know I've got it all. But once the first part of it is clear, I can run a tap down it. Yep, I think I might take it over to the bench. Because there's nothing more to do in the lathe. Don't know my own strength. You can just see the start of the thread there. It's going to be a little bit close quarters with all of us looking down there. See if I can get you a view down the hole. You can see down there I've just managed to pick out a bit more of that thread. I don't bust my scriber off. Let's find my pliers again. If I'm lucky, we'll just be able to wind that out of there. I think maybe we'll open it like a tin of ham. No, that'd be too easy. I've got a fair bit of the thread exposed there. Let's just see. Here's my 12mm bolt. Let's see if that'll go in there. I'm not convinced. They look the same. It's either 1.25 or 1.75. Not looking like 1.25. That's 1.75. It's looking too big. Unless it's some weird ass pygmy thread size. Which would surprise me. That's my cheap ass 12mm tap. The trick is going to be not to cross thread it. Just have a look at what that's doing. It's going to cut that bolt, or what's left of it, back out of the hole. Just need to make sure it's not cutting a new thread. Can't see any shininess, which would be evidence of new thread. Give it a blast with the air gun, get you out the way. Alrighty, I went and found a better tap in my other set. This is a M12 by 1.75. I blasted out the rubbish. I'm either tapping a new thread down here, or we're cleaning out the old one. I think it's cleaning out the old one. Well, it looks pretty untidy. 50-50 chance. I think I guessed it wrong. I think I can see multiple starts at the top there. No, I think we won't put that back on Mike's mower. I think there's the answer. That's the 1.25 pitch, and it went straight in. Oops. Yeah, I think we'll call that broken. I don't think I'd like to have my mower blade spinning around at God knows what speed on that. So we'll call that a learning curve. Thanks for watching, guys. See you on the next one. Oh, can't really see you.